everyone. So my name is Neil Fox, and I've been having a quite interesting day today, having the entire anger of the furry Twitter sphere directed against me. I would just like to say that these actions are abusive. Like, what is more abusive than piling hate onto someone who has depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation, which I have. You can ask my doctor. I'd be more than happy to provide any documentation that you would like to see that this is the case for me. So, good job, guys. You did it. You bullied a suicidal person. Great job. So I wasn't planning on releasing this, but at this point, to clear my name, I don't really have a choice. So here you go. This recording is from earlier today when I spoke with the CEO of Artworktee, Torben Goldmund, and I told my side of the story. I know that many people don't care about my side of the story, but if you actually want to hear my side of the story, this is it. Now, before anyone gets their titties in a twist about whether or not it was legal to record my conversation with Torben, I live in the state of Indiana, which is a one-party consent state. So if you live in a two-party consent state, like the state of California, for example, then both parties have to consent to the recording for it to be a legal recording. However, in the state of Indiana, only one person has to consent. That is the law. If you have a problem with that, you can take it up with the state. So, this is my interview with Torben, and I hope you enjoy. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that the call was connected. You never know with these things. So basically, I decided that there was one of two options that I could do. One would be to take back, quote unquote, buy back would be the correct term, to buy back Artworktee and to fix it myself, because it's not fair to you that you've had to deal with all of this for so long.
That will not work that easily. And I'm also not a fan of that plan.
Not a fan of what plan?
Of you taking back Artworktee.
Right. So, no, I understand. That's why I'm saying that was one of two options. Hold on one second. Sorry, I have to turn off my sound here. Where do I change the...
What's the second?
Give me 2 seconds. Hold on. I just gotta fix the volume settings here.
Hello? Still alive?
Yep, I'm here. Are you there?
Yes. Your call is a bit wonky.
I'm so sorry about that. I just had to mute my because I had to turn up the the volume to be able to hear you properly. So the notification on my computer was super loud. Anyway, sorry. So, anyway, I saw one of two ways forward. The first way was to just buy it back, and then Artworktee would be separate from you in the eyes of the public, obviously, because you would be legally separated from it. So you're not interested in that idea. So the other possibility is to throw myself on the sword for Artworktee and to talk to the people that I wronged, because what you said was absolutely correct, and I thought about it a lot, and I'm going to talk to each person that I wronged, and I'm going to make it right in whatever way that I can. So I set up an AMA on Reddit, and I set up a AMA on TikTok. So people can ask whatever question that they want, and I will do my best to answer every question.
Okay.
So my goal with that is to prove to everyone that the only goal is to prove to everyone that I am no longer part of Artworktee. So Artworktee is not me.
Uh-huh.
That's it. That's the goal. And so I figure, what better way to do exactly what you said of making the wrongs right than by talking to the people directly. And they can talk to me in a DM, they can talk to me in a tweet, they can talk to me in a Reddit comment, whatever. They can, the method of communication is not important. The important thing is that I talk to them and I hear them out as much as they want to say.
Uh-huh. I'll be right back. I just have to take the potatoes from the stove.
Okay.
Yes, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good.
And so secondarily, I want to also give people the opportunity to come and talk to me in person, not in a safe context. So I'll have somebody with me there to make sure nobody punches me in the face, but because some people are that upset. Uh-huh. But people will have the opportunity to come. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record an episode of my podcast at Anthrocon. And so anyone who wants to go, it's not going to be connected to the con. It's not going to happen in the convention center. It'll be somewhere, a couple blocks away probably, where anybody can come and talk to me in person if they want. And again, whatever I can do to make it right, I will do to make it right. I can't promise that I will be able to make them feel better because, their feelings are not something that I can control. But what I can do is I can make a good faith effort to talk to each person who feels wronged and figure out if there is any way that I can make it right.
Uh-huh. I think that's an amazing plan, and I think that I take my hat off in front of you for that. That you have the courage to do that. That's great.
Well, yeah, I mean, if people want to yell at me, if they want to scream at me, if they want to anything short of physical violence, because obviously my body cannot. I have brittle bones. I cannot do that. Anything that does not involve physical violence, people can do whatever they want. And again, with the goal being, okay, so get it all out of your system and be mad at me, not mad at Torben.
Uh-huh.
I want to, if it is possible for me to do, unfortunately, this may not be possible. I'll just warn you in advance. But if possible, I would like to...
I mean, if only one or two already find... change their tone towards you, and if they see that you're making a significant effort, it's already worth it, I would think.
I agree. I think that's true. I'm also inviting a couple of people, or some of the people who had the more high profile voices in the fandom. I sent a message to Beta. I sent a message to Majira. I sent a message to who were the other ones? Sylvixen, I think, was one of the artists that was making a fuss about everything, and so I just sent them a message, and I said, hey, long time no see. And if you are interested in just talking things out, we can do that. You know, I am here to listen. I am not here to judge. Can you tell I've been in therapy recently?
Yes, I have. I can. It's great. Like, just wow. I'm impressed.
I appreciate it, Torben. Thank you. I would like to try, if I can, to fix it for you. I don't know if that is possible. It may be unfixable, but like you said,
even if you fix it with a single person, it's already worth it.
I agree. The offer, I'm making the offer publicly. You know, I'm gonna post about the Reddit AMA. You know, for example, I'm gonna post about that on my Twitter. I haven't done that yet, but you know, here I'll say something to the effect of, you know, here's the post. If you want to ask any question, I will do my best to answer every question. I can't promise that I will be able to do it right away because I'm guessing there'll be a lot of posts, but you know, I will do my best to go through and answer every post.
Mm-hmm. I think that's cool.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you.
By the way, did you like the picture?
I did. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. My artist just plopped it out in a day.
That's awesome. I love it.
So there's two things I wanted to talk with you about.
Okay.
There's the Shopify that's still hooked up to the non-existent bank account issue.
Oh dear. Yeah, I'm not sure how to fix that. Have you talked with the Shopify help desk?
I have not yet. So you said you had the old bank account info, and you said you wanted to send me that, but I looked through the through our history, and I wasn't able to find it.
I'm trying to think of where I would have it, because like one of the things that I did after I closed the account was I tried to log in to it just to make sure it was gone, and it was gone. So, I don't know.
Yes, but I'm sure you have the routing number written down somewhere, or the account number.
I probably do. I will have to double check. I'm not sure. I'm sure that would be on the bank statement.
Because Shopify won't be able to help without that information.
That's not necessarily true. So they if you haven't used it yet, you should start. So they actually have some of the best customer service that exists in the space for people who do online stores. It's the reason why Shopify is as big as it is because of their customer service. So just go type in Shopify help into Google, and that, I don't remember what the exact link is, but that'll find it. If you just type in Shopify help, then what you would be able to do is you could talk to them directly, whether over a voice chat or a text chat or whatever, however you want to talk to them, you can.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, they will be able to tell you the actual answer, because, you know, if obviously the automated system is going to say, oh, well, we have to have the thing. But if you tell them, well, the bank account does not exist, I'm sure this is a problem that Shopify has had before. You know, Shopify has millions of users. I'm sure something like this has happened before. So I'm sure they have a policy in place for it. It's just not going to be public on their website. So,
can I have your new bank information so that I can hook it up to there? Since it's Shopify US, it won't work with any of my European banks.
Let me make a counter suggestion.
Okay.
So there is an excellent bank. Well, let me find the details on it. 1 second. I actually just learned about this a couple of days ago. I'd never heard of it. There is actually a I think it's called Brex or something. Not Brexit, but anyway, let me find the exact name of
Brexit
it.
Brexit is UK.
Yes, I know. Let's see. Banking Solutions. Yes. BREX is the name of the company. And as long as you have a US-based LLC, which you do, you have the one in, I think, California or whatever it is.
Yes, but that cannot be mixed with this.
With what?
RAF is very, very clear that none of my other businesses are allowed to be mixed with Artworktee in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, I thought you were... okay, But, no...
It's the body pillow... a furry body pillow store.
Oh!
Shopify.
Oh, I'm so
sorry. Is hooked up to your bank account. That means every time someone buys a body pillow and does not pay via PayPal, it goes into the Shopify internal balance, but I have no way of pulling the money out of that balance.
Oh, that's not
because
good.
Your bank account doesn't exist anymore. Because it was hooked up to my bank account inside your bank account, remember? The Artworktee, the Art and Prints bank account.
That has been a long time ago, and I have been on a lot of drugs legal from the hospital since then. So I do not remember that, but let me figure out a solution for you. So if I could be wrong about this just because I'm thinking on the fly here, but my best recommendation for that would just be to set up a new LLC, which is quite cheap. It's it's not like it's expensive to do, and just make a new bank account under a new LLC. So if you're selling,
I'm not a U.S. citizen.
Right, you don't have to be a U.S. citizen to make a U.S. LLC. You can
but you need to be a U.S. citizen to make a U.S. bank account.
You do not,
because they want an SSN.
That is incorrect. I'm telling you. Okay, so go to.
I was at multiple banks in the U.S. and they all wanted wanted a social security number from me.
Yes,
I was physically there in their bank.
I know. So, let me explain, because it is kind of weird. So give me a second, okay? Your situation is unusual, obviously, because a banker in, Baltimore or whatever place that you were at is not going to get that question every day. And so I know the answer because I have to work with people overseas for different stuff all the time. But the banker in, Mississippi is not going to know the answer to this question. But I do know the answer to this question, so let me explain it to you, okay? So, all you have to do is go to the link that I sent you, okay? I sent it to you just now, firstbase.io, okay?
Yep.
And then if you set up an LLC on firstbase.io, then you can set up a bank account in the United States under that LLC. So you do not have to be a U.S. citizen to set up a U.S. LLC. And then the U.S. LLC is treated as a person under the law. So a corporation, one of the things that has been litigated to death by various courts through the years is that a corporation under the law is treated like a person.
Okay.
So what that means is that by having a U.S. LLC, the bank treats it as if it is a person. And so you can use what's called an EIN instead of a social security number.
Okay.
So, step 1, go to that link and make an LLC.
Register new company.
Step 2, within that same app, make a, within that same app on firstbase.io, make an account with Brex, B-R-E-X, okay?
Wait. So I'm in choose a registration state. They don't have Indianapolis. They have Delaware and Wyoming.
It doesn't matter. Just pick whichever one. It doesn't matter. You will not be receiving any mail or anything for this account. So you don't have to worry about that. You will set up what's called a registered agent, and they will set that up. They will set that up for you within Firstbase. They will set up a registered agent for you, and that registered agent will receive whatever mail that you need. So, like, they have an office in, or I don't know if it's a post office.
How much does this cost?
I don't know. Look up whatever fees that they charge. You'll have to do some research on it, but I'm letting you know that this is a way to do it that Shopify will accept. I know they will accept it because I've heard other people do it, and other people who are not in the United States. So, you can be living in the Philippines, or you can be living in Japan, or whatever, and that way you can have a US-based EIN number, and then, my dear friend Torben, you will be in the position to get what is called business credit, okay?
Okay.
With business credit, you can have things like a Net 30 account, for example, which is an account where the business bills you 30 days after you like receive the order, typically. But they will only do that if the business itself has established business credit. So anyway, the point is, it will help you a lot.
$400?
That's actually really cheap for an LLC. Most companies charge like $800.
This makes no financial sense to do this. The Shopify only has $300 in it, and as soon as it's out, I'm going to replace this Shopify with a different store.
Oh, well, I didn't know that, Torben. I thought you were going to continue running your business under that store.
Furry body pillows, the store makes very, very little money.
Okay, well, I did not know that,
But
Torben.
every single time an order comes in, I need the money to produce the order.
Yep, okay, well, now I know that, so we'll have to make a different plan. I apologize, Torben. I'm learning this as we go.
What I want to do is I want to find some way to pull the money out of Shopify so if I can close the account, since the account is registered to your address and everything.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to contact Shopify support for this one because, like I said, this is something that would happen maybe a couple times a year for even a big company like Shopify, but it's not unheard of for something like this to happen. You know, somebody might die unexpectedly, and then you have to be able to access the money in the account, you know, something like that. It doesn't happen very often, but that kind of thing does happen sometimes. And so my recommendation to you would be to go to Shopify Help and just ask them what to do. They will tell you that the worst thing they can say is no. The worst thing they can say is, well, it's impossible unless you do this. So they will be able to help you with this, Torben.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'll try to figure that out.
Yep. So just talk to them. They have 24/7 support, so it should be relatively easy to get in contact with them, even with the time difference. So just talk with them and then let me know what they say, because I would be able to then help you with further information. So I need more information to be able to help you with this.
Okay.
Because, they may say, oh, well, this is an unusual situation, but in these types of situations where somebody wants to close their account, then what we do is we just write them a check and mail it to their business address, for example. So that would be a typical way that a company might deal with this kind of situation.
Okay. Yeah, I'll contact Shopify and see if I can figure that out.
Okay. But yeah, anyway, unfortunately, that is a situation where there is no progress to be made until you talk to them first. So if they cannot help you, then we have to, set up I could set up a checking account at a bank that has free checking accounts, withdraw the money, and then close the checking account or something like that. But that type of thing would be difficult, and it could have an effect on my credit. So I don't want to do that option unless it is the only option.
Why would it have something to do with your credit? I mean, money goes in and money goes out again.
So when it's kind of technical, unfortunately, but so on the credit report, at least in the United States, I don't know how it works in Germany, but in the United States, the length of time that you have had a credit account, or not a credit account, a checking account open, the length of time that you've had a checking account open makes a difference as to your credit score. So if I have 2 accounts and they've been open for 5 years, and then I open one and it's only been open for a day, that's going to lower my credit score, and my credit score is already really terrible. So I don't need any more bad effects of my credit if I can avoid them. So again.
So what would be the complication of simply hooking it up to your current existing bank account and then de-hooking it up once the money is transferred?
So it would not be as complicated as setting up a new account, but Shopify support is online right now. You could be talking to them right now instead of asking me questions. Ask them. They are the experts.
Okay.
Like, there's no reason to keep talking about it because you can figure out the answer in probably 10 minutes. You can contact them here on the call if you want. Like, it won't take long for them to respond.
I'm on the way into the support right now.
Oh, great. Okay, good. Well, and another piece of the puzzle that I don't know if obviously I am not a lawyer and you are not a lawyer, so this may not be something that you have thought about, but basically, how do I put this? So I went through a personal bankruptcy in 2020. So any claims that someone might have, like, oh, well, you didn't give me $25 from this t-shirt sale or this 5 t-shirt sales or whatever. First of all, that would be an obligation of the business, not a personal obligation. But, hypothetically, if they took me to court and they proved that I owed them $25, which it would cost $10,000 to prove it, so nobody would. But hypothetically, if someone did, then the judge would say, well, he went through bankruptcy, so it would have to have happened after 2020. It would have to have happened in 2021 or later for it to be a valid claim. So, I have a very poor memory because of the depression and anxiety that I have. And so it's very possible that there are people that I did not pay properly. And, if that's the case, I want to talk it out with them and make it right in any way that I can. But I am not obligated to, be like, well, yes, you are owed this and you are owed that and you're owed, like, that. It's not how the law works. It's, again, number one, it would be an obligation of the company and not of me, even if it was proven in the court of law, which, even if, hypothetically, it could be proven in the court of law, nobody would pay $10,000 to get, the money from 5 t-shirt sales. You okay?
Yes, I'm typing to the support agent right now.
Oh, good, yeah.
I just wrote, hi, I have a problem. I have closed the bank account the Shopify was attached to. I don't know how to get my money out of the Shopify account.
Perfect. Yep. That's exactly what they need to hear. And so, the bank agent is not going to get that request every day, but I bet that Shopify gets that kind of request, a couple of times a year at the very least. And so my guess is they have an internal document that says what to do. I could be wrong, so let's find out.
Yep, I'm waiting for the answer right now.
Good. But anyway, I hope that I can, even if it's not for very many people, I hope that I can resolve some of the frustration and all of that so that I can help make your life a little bit easier. I am okay. I am a person who is an adult and mature enough. And maybe 10 years ago I wouldn't have been mature enough, but I've been on the internet. I've gotten death threats. Like, if somebody's upset over $25, it's not going to bother me. Like, oh, you're upset. You want to yell at me? That's fine. Go right ahead. Doesn't bother me.
Now we're asking, is the bank account you are referring to is where payouts are being sent to? I'm like, yes.
Yep.
So, I see, let me check here also. May I ask, why did you close it? Why did we close the bank account?
Why? Because...
What should I say?
I mean, I don't know how much detail they want, but one of several answers is because it was charging us for not having enough money in the account, and so I wasn't okay with paying that. They were charging, I think it was like $20 a month or something just to maintain the account, and I was like, this is stupid. I'm paying to maintain an account that doesn't have any money in it. That doesn't make any sense. If I just close the account, then I don't have to pay that fee. Oh. Oh, my legs are stiff. Oh. Okay.
I wrote, because it was charging us for not maintaining it at a high enough balance, so we went to a different bank without remembering that the Shopify was still hooked up to it.
Perfect. Yep. That's correct. And it shows the reason why it happened. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Also, have you tried asking your bank provider if there is a way for them to transfer out funds from that card? As per checking here, Torben, payout listed on your accounts are already being tagged as paid, which means that the money is already in your bank account. What?
What?
They shouldn't be.
No, that shouldn't be the case. If it is the case...
we can't transfer it out anymore. Here on our end because the money is no longer within us.
What? How is that possible if the account doesn't exist?
I'm confused.
That doesn't make any sense. Well, maybe we have to go through the bank. I don't know.
Let me check on Shopify because that does not sound right. more plumber. That's mine.
So loud.
Lol. I send 2 screenshots and their message is like, it's strange it's not showing up on my end. Can you click the view transaction and send me again a screenshot? Let me check something on that page. I'm like, I just sent.
Oh no.
It didn't even look at what I sent yet.
That's funny.
Before writing that message.
Wow. That's funny.
Don't you just love it when support is slow?
It's the best. it is about 8 in the morning, and I was not able to sleep, so I may have to go to bed soon.
Yes, I'm doing this as fast as I can. So they said, may I also ask if you were able to update the bank account information simply through our portal?
Well, you say I don't have another U.S. bank account because I'm a resident of Germany. Although if all they need is another bank account, then we can get them another bank account. But we have to be able to update it, which it sounds like you have to remove the other one first to be able to update it. So if he can...
No, all they need is the account number and the routing number of the old one and the new one.
Okay. There is a slight possibility that the routing number and the account number are buried in a Google Drive somewhere, but I do not know, Torben. I'm sorry. Okay. So ask him if it is possible to remove the old account since the account number is no longer readily available. He can probably just remove it himself if that's all that needs to be done.
I wrote, is it possible to remove the account, I don't have the old numbers as the bank account is removed and does not show them anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good.
Can you check in your LastPass if it might be in there, or at least the full account number might be in there?
I guess. It doesn't hurt to check. Let's see. Be under Bank of America, I think. Let's see. Debit card number.
It's the account ending in 11.
Unfortunately, it only has the debit card number. It doesn't have the account number. Sorry about that. I will be right back. I need to use the restroom.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back at my computer now. Ugh.
Yep. So they said that, I gotcha. If this is the case, an escalation may be required on our side here. It needs to be manually removed. Once this is escalated, our team will reach out to you via email to gather more information.
Perfect. Yeah, I knew they would be able to fix it for you. I expected they would be able to fix it for you. Escalation just means that it has to have manager approval. That's all that means.
Okay. Please keep an eye out with your email, as I will go ahead and make an escalation about this matter.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, then it'll probably take a while for them to put together an email.
Oh yeah, that'll take some time. What they'll have to do is what they will have to do is find what they will have to do is find a manager who has a free moment to look over everything. So that'll take some time.
Yeah, then that's as far as we can take it right now.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Is there?
Yes, I'll let you sleep now. Sorry for bothering you. And
oh no. It's no bother. It's just it's not a bother. I'm just tired. Yes, there's a difference between being a bother and my body being physically tired. Let's
Thanks
see.
so much. And when should we talk about if the thing with Spike is possible or not?
Let me think. So at the moment, I am waiting for the approval from Social Security for the lump sum payment, and I am waiting for the approval from the insurance company for the other lump sum payment. So I could have $10,000 in my bank account tomorrow, or I could have $0 in my bank account for the next 30 days. I don't know. It will depend on whether or not
So if I tell Spike to start, we have 7 days to somehow come up with the first thousands.
Right. Unfortunately, I do not have a guarantee from either Social Security or the lawyer that I will have 1,000 within that time. I'm sorry, Torben.
Okay.
I wish that I had.
I'm going to try to push it out as far as possible.
Okay.
And then we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I had better news to give you, but the lawyer has been saying next week or next month for going on a year now. So sorry about that.
That's okay. But yeah, that would be it for now. Thanks so much for your time, and
of course.
You're doing awesome, by the way. Keep it up.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I
like the new Neil.
I appreciate that. It has been a lot of hard work because mental health is as challenging to improve as physical health. So it's that is something that I did not understand. Yeah, I might have been able to tell you like, oh yeah, mental health is important, but like I didn't understand it until like a year ago. So it's been a long process, and I'm sorry that old Neil, quote unquote, made a lot of stupid mistakes. But then again, people make a lot of mistakes in their 20s.
Like there's a pony episode about it,
right?
Where Spike eats a bunch of ice cream and is like, "That's Future Spike's problem."
That one is so funny.
Now he is Future Spike.
Now I am Future Spike. Yeah, pretty much. I'm Future Spike, and I have to deal with it, and I will figure it out. It's if this is something that I actually. The concept is something that I learned in the IOP therapy that I went through, where what they said was you have to put things, you have to do everything that you have you have to do everything in your power to do, and then you put it in the other person's hands. So you say, if somebody is, I don't know, if your boss is mad at you for being late to work, you do whatever you can. You apologize. You, fix, if there was an issue, you fix it, that kind of thing. But you have to, at some point, choose a point to say, okay, well, it's in your hands now. Like, I have done all that it is reasonable for me to do, and so if you're still upset about it, that's your problem. Like, you were absolutely right, and I'm glad that you mentioned it to me. Of like, I don't remember the exact words that you used, but something like, people need to, or the way you said it was like the community needs to understand that you've changed. And I mean,
by the way, I'm seeing that you're writing in the Telegram, and that you renamed the Telegram to Neil. I had briefly used that Telegram for Artworktee, so please, if you're communicating with someone, please make it absolutely clear that it's you talking, and that Telegram, that you're talking on the Telegram and not the company of Artworktee.
Oh yeah, no, I am making that 100% clear with any of the people that I've contacted.
Great.
The reason why I used this specific account is, one, it's under my phone number, so it's not like it's a Telegram is not a sophisticated enough platform for it to have like, oh well, we have this type of account for people, and we have this type of account for businesses, and we have this like, it's not like a Facebook page where like, they have one version for a person and one version for a business. Again, if we're talking about, things changing, then I need to show.
Okay. I just got in from the parking lot.
Oh, okay. From parking lot? What do you mean?
Huh?
What do you mean parking lot? Are you at a convention right now?
No, I was just driving home, and I just barely got home, and I had the phone in the car, and I saw that you said, "Hey, this is urgent, call me," so I immediately rushed inside, turned on my computer, and here I am.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a emergency situation. I just wanted to make sure that you are fully aware of what's going on.
What happened? Are you okay? First off.
No, I'm fine. It's not a like a safety issue. It's unfortunately for your like mental health over the next couple of days. You are sadly kind of roped into this. But it, like I said, this is all part of the process. This is just me telling my story, basically. But
okay.
The story is a bit salacious, And so I just want you to be prepared for what's going to happen over the next couple of hours.
Okay.
So, do you have? I guess I probably shouldn't ask. Are you sitting down?
I have time. Yes.
Okay. If you have something that you need to do, because this will probably take a couple of minutes at least to tell you the story. So, do you have anything you have to do, like in the next, I don't know, hour?
Nothing immediate or urgent.
Okay. Because this is definitely the most urgent thing you need to know right now.
Okay.
So I have had a lot of trouble with memory, especially after the accident that I went through in June of 2020. You remember?
Yes.
I'm sure you remember all the details about that. I probably don't have to explain all of that to you again. But anyway, so basically, I opened up this old Telegram account that I used to use back in the day.
Yes, that I had been using before, and which I have full access to, by the way. Yes.
Yeah. So I will leave the decision up to you of whether or not you want to continue to have access to it or not. It's fully your decision. But let me explain the situation here. So like I said, I've been having a lot of trouble with memory over the past couple of years in particular, and so I'm sure nobody will believe me, but I simply did not remember that this conversation happened. So apparently there's about 5,000 messages between me and Majira Strawberry, and I think that you are going to want to post some of these messages because they really help your cause as Artworktee. So as the CEO of Artworktee, they really help your cause. And check out the one that I sent you. So I sent you one that says, actually, let me just scroll up in the conversation so I can read you the whole context of it instead of having to send you screenshots. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me just read you what we said. So this was June 18th of 2018. I said, "Hey Majira, I hope you're well. I got your email. Can we talk about it?" And he said, "It's nothing personal against you." So, I literally forgot this conversation happened. But the reason why we had this conversation was because of all the drama that was happening around Artworktee. And basically, he sent me an email.
Wait, there was already drama happening before in early 2018?
Oh, yeah. Short answer, yes.
You never said anything about that. You always displayed it as if as if those were the golden days, 2017, 2018 of the company.
Well, 2017, yes, because Majira was selling on the website. This was the beginning of the end. That June 18th is halfway through the year of 2018.
Okay.
Anyway, so he sent me an email. I'm not sure why he didn't just send me a message, but whatever. He sent me an email that said, I'm going to pull down my designs from Artworktee. So this is the conversation that we had immediately after he decided to pull his designs down, okay? So he said, "It's nothing personal against you as a person, so please don't take it personally. I feel like I just need to move on and work with companies whose ethics align more with what I strive with my new company. Ethics align more with what I strive my new company to be like." Oh, that's just bad grammar, but that's fine. "I do still wish you the best of success with your company." And I said, "If I were you, I would feel the same way. We've made a lot of mistakes, and I'm the one to blame." He said, "Thank you for understanding my situation, and thank you for everything you've done to help me with my merch. I said, "It's my pleasure. I'm so glad to have gotten to work with you. You have every right to feel like we violated your trust, and I am truly sorry we let you down. You mentioned ethics several times in your message. I would like to know more so I can improve. Like everyone, I try to conduct my business ethically and fairly, but like everyone, I fail a lot. Would you please let me know some specifics so we can do better?" Again, this is a conversation from June 18th of 2018.
Okay.
He said, "I found it unethical to not fairly pay artists, to take my friend..."
Yes, I've heard that many, many, many times. Yes.
Well, people are welcome to criticize me for it, and I'm open to criticism. As of 2018, I was open to criticism and open to learning and growing as a person and as a business owner. As this conversation proves. But I mean, from my perspective, if I may tell my side of the story for the first time, because no one frickin' believes me on this, I've tried to tell people the actual truth, and they just won't believe me. But anyway, so what I said was, I misspoke. From my perspective, this is what happened, is what I should have said. Mm-hmm. From my perspective, I went to these artists, and the sweater design from Majira Strawberry is a good example, because that was one of the ones that people are so upset about. So I went to the artist and I said, "Hello, my name is Neil. I'm the CEO of Artworktee. I need a shirt design for Majira Strawberry for this Christmas campaign that we're going to do. How much would you like to charge for it?" And the artist said, $30. And so, apparently, according to everyone in the fucking fandom, I should have responded to that by saying, "Oh, well, let me pay you more than you asked for." But I said...
So what I've noticed in my business, when I was young and naive and starting out, I did it the same way. I went to the cheapest artist I could find, and I was like, "I'm interested in art. How much do you charge? $20, $30, $40, something like that." And then I made sure to say, "This includes commercial rights," and they would be either yes, or they would be, "Oh no, it's just for the campaign," or something like that. Like,
hold on one second.
The thing is that over time that I've learned that these prices, while the artist is okay with it, the community is not! Exclamation mark.
Okay, well,
because
how was I supposed to know that?
I didn't either in the beginning. I had to learn that the hard way too.
Because I literally, to this specific artist, at which, I can pull up the messages if you would like to read them, or if you would like a screenshot, but I have the screenshot of the messages with this artist, where I said, "Hello, I work at Artworktee, or I'm a CEO of Artworktee. I need a design for Majira Strawberry for this campaign. So, I need a merch design for this campaign. How much would you like to charge?" And then 3 years later, she said it wasn't enough money. 3 years later. So somehow I was supposed to know that 3 years in the future, she would be upset about it. In my opinion, that is not a reasonable standard.
No, it's not. So how it worked in my company is that so people ask me, of course, how much did the art cost? And in the beginning, I was like, "Oh, I was able to get it for this and that price because I have artists in countries where that's much more money than here." And that's when immediately the criticism came in, being like, "You can't do that, and you've made so much money off this design, and like, this is unethical, and this is the reason why local production is going away, and everything's moving to the low-cost countries, and like this entire just bulldozer of information was thrown at me. So what I do these days is the artist doesn't know their value if they're from a low-cost country. So what I do is I ask the artist how much they want, and always pay more and explain what exactly it's going to be for, so that they have an idea of what they're getting into. Because in the beginning it was like, oh, I'm just a tiny little company, I sell like, I don't know, 20 different things at conventions that happen like 5 times a year. Like, no one cares if you pay an artist $30 for a piece if you only make a few hundred from it.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you start making real money with that,
Mm-hmm.
people feel a sense of injustice in it.
Well, and see, let me respond to a couple of those points, because this is important. Number one, at the time, this was the first, this was a very long time ago, so if I misremember, I will correct the record, or correct the information to you in a future conversation. But anyway, to my remembrance of how the events went, this was the first major like campaign that we had done with Majira. So it was, he was a new person selling on the website, and so I said, well, hey, why don't we do something fun? Let's do a unique thing. It's around Christmas time, so why don't we do I think he actually suggested a sweater, if I'm not mistaken. And so we did something that was unique and different. And again, I had no idea how many of them would sell. He had no idea how many of them would sell. So I went to an artist. I did not specifically go to a low-cost artist. I just went to an artist, and I said, I would like to make a shirt from Majira Strawberry, or a sweater from Majira Strawberry. How much would you like to charge? And like I was
not blaming you for it. I made the exact same mistake. I was roasted for it too. It's just, it's not a problem of the artist. It's a problem of the perception of others in their way of perceiving what is fair and what isn't.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And so, like, from my perspective, as someone who was there on the ground, who was there, the only 2 people in the world before today who knew what happened was me and Majira Strawberry. And unfortunately, because of the injury that I sustained, I had forgotten about this conversation. Like, I literally did not remember that this conversation happened. And so, like, anyway, so I just wanted to read a bit more of it for you. Because I want to put into perspective for you, as the owner of Artworktee now, like what I was doing even before everything happened in 2019, 2020, whatever. This was June of 2018. So this is how the conversation went. He said, I didn't finish reading this message. Okay. He said, I found it unethical to not fairly pay artists, to take my friends leaving Artworktee personally instead of professionally, which I did, that's fair, and to go behind YouTubers' backs and talk their fans into putting fan art on shirts without offering compensation or payment. That's a very negative way to characterize events, but I guess. Okay.
When I took over your website, there were designs that were not authorized on that website. It were designs of characters of of poppy furs that the poppy furs didn't even know were there because they were uploaded by someone else.
Okay, so like the CEO of Redbubble is supposed to check and make sure whether or not every seller on the website knows if the authorization has been given. That doesn't make any sense.
It's not, but added on all of the other drama, that's one of the reasons why directly when I took over, my first action was pulling down the website.
Okay. Well,
and another thing was because the website was leaking private information, but I already told you about that.
Right. Oh, and actually, this is something that Majira mentions later on in this same message, actually. He said...
From 2018?
Yeah. He said the phone number leak
was not fixed from... Wait. So, you're telling me that your web shop was leaking private information as early as 2018 into the internet without anyone being able to fix it?
Okay. Let me tell you what actually happened instead of the hearsay that you've been hearing from various people. So this is what actually happened, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the website was built on top of WordPress, okay?
That is correct, yes.
Now, WordPress is a blogging platform. Now, there's a lot of websites that are built on WordPress. I think it's like 30% of the internet. But, when it was originally created decades ago, it was just a blogging platform. Now, unfortunately, for people like myself who are not technical, I don't know anything about computer programming. I don't know anything about web programming.
Same here.
I have the most basic knowledge of HTML, but I do not know anything about putting together accounts or security or anything like that. That is not my area of expertise. I understand that people are upset, but I do not know how to do every single step in creating a website. I'm sorry, I'm a human being. Okay.
Yes, I understand that.
Anyway, the website was built on WordPress, and what happened is that during the process of putting together the website, we installed a plugin for SEO optimization. Okay? Now, SEO optimization means...
search engine optimization.
Yes. And so what this plugin did was it went through and it found information in the database that Google would be interested in indexing. Okay? So, let's say that it was not a, for example, let's say that it was not a t-shirt selling website. Let's say that it was a company directory, for example. And so you're trying to show where every office of the company is around the world. Just as an example. That would be something that someone could use this same type of system to do. Okay? Because again, it was not invented to make a t-shirt website. It was invented to make blogs. Okay?
Yes.
So, let me collect myself for a moment. The system, computers are very dumb. Computers just do exactly what you tell them to do. A computer does not have the ability to tell the difference between, a phone number that is someone's personal number and a phone number that's the number to a corporate office or something like that. The computer has no idea. And so what happened was the SEO extension for WordPress went through and, without my knowledge, this extension that, again, was just part of the pieces that we put together for the website. I had no way of knowing that this would happen, okay? I had no way of knowing. I encourage someone to listen to this story, whether you or anyone else. I encourage people to listen to the story and to say, well, there was definitely a point at which he should have known that would happen. No, how could I possibly know?
Until the point where people pointed out.
Yes, and the same day that it was pointed out, we uninstalled the extension. The same day.
I see that you uninstalled it, but why did I still find all of these things when I took over the website?
I am more than happy to tell you, Torben, but unlike, unlike the pithy phrase, Artworktee leaked my personal information, which is a very mimetic phrase, it's a very simple phrase. Unlike that phrase, the actual truth is complicated, okay? So, let me tell you what happened. So, to continue what I was saying before, the same day that we learned that it was a security problem, we uninstalled the extension, okay? Now, SEO, or search engine optimization, is a process by which Google indexes websites. Now, do you know what indexing means?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so just to make sure we're on the same page, just in case, let me just go through it very quickly. So there's what are called spiders, quote unquote, that crawl the web. So the reason why they're called spiders is because it's the World Wide Web. It's a joke. It's a joke from 1992. Yes. So these spiders from Google, Microsoft, whatever company that owns a search engine, they crawl the web and they look for information to add to the database of the search engine. So the way that Google works is Google does not go and look at Artworktee every time that it needs to search Artworktee, because that would be very, very slow. This is the way that some of the really old search engines worked, like Alta Vista and stuff, where they didn't want to have to maintain a really expensive, because at that time, maintaining a database, even of text-based websites, was expensive. And so they didn't maintain a database. They only searched the web based on people's inquiries. So when someone typed in a search, they would then go and search the web for whatever the person was looking for. So if the person is looking for dog groomers in Indianapolis, Indiana, then the Alta Vista or whatever, some of these really old search engines would then say, yes, so we're going to look through all of these different websites and we're going to find dog groomers in Indianapolis, Indiana. That is not how Google works, okay? How Google works is they have these spiders, quote unquote, that go around the World Wide Web and they find information. And again, computers are very stupid. The computer has no idea if it is Majira Strawberry's personal cell phone number or if it is the number of a Fortune 500 company. To the computer, it looks exactly the same. And there is, you might be able to, with now current day 2022 technology, you might be able to make some type of machine learning algorithm that would be able to tell the difference or something. But you definitely could not do that a decade ago. If you were talking to somebody in 2012, it doesn't matter if you're the CEO of, Walmart. You would not be able to build a system that would be able to tell the difference between a corporate phone number and a personal cell phone number. The technology did not exist at that time. So the technology did not exist when I created Artworktee in 2016 or whatever it was. The technology did not exist to differentiate between those two different types of phone numbers, okay? Google didn't have the technology, and I sure as fuck didn't have the technology. So, anyway, these spiders, quote unquote, that crawl the web, they go out and they find information. So they any type of information. It doesn't matter. It could be an email, it could be a phone number, it could be a link, it could be a copy of the works of Shakespeare. It doesn't matter to the robot what type of information that it is. The robot is programmed to find information that you do not have yet. And so it goes around and it finds this information, and then it builds a database that is essentially a copy of the World Wide Web at that time. Okay? So, let me put it in a different context for you to help you understand, because this is a very technical topic, and I am not a technical person, so it helps to have these kinds of things explained in just analogies, at least for me. And I'm sure since you're not a programmer, it probably would help you as well. So I want you to imagine the data that you would have when you're making a document. Okay? So
yes.
Let's say that you are the computer, and you are the user. I want you, Torben, to imagine that you are the computer in this scenario, and
okay.
I, the user, am making a text document. So it doesn't matter what the text document is. We'll say a book report, just for the sake of, an analogy. Okay? So, the information that was leaked from people's personal profiles is information that a database would normally have. Okay? It's completely normal for whether it's a document. Again, we'll use a simple text document as an example. So it would be normal for the file name to be part of the text document. So if you're looking at the text document, so in this analogy, the text document, the book report, is the web page. The file name, in this case, would be an example of something that would be stored on the database of the website. Are you following me now?
Yes.
Okay. So again, we have book report and file name. So if you have the document open, you might not be able to see the file name. So if you have it doesn't matter if you're Majira Strawberry or if you're just a regular customer. If you have Artworktee open on your computer, then you're not going to see all the details of what is in the database of the computer. So you're not going to see every single detail. That wouldn't make any sense to show the PayPal email of every single person on the website. So in this example, the PayPal email or the phone number or whatever would be like the file name of the book report. So you from looking at the website, you're not going to be able to see that information. So make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So if we are thinking of the web as not a series of web pages, but in this example, a series of text documents. Okay, so the web page is the text document, and the file name is the database. Just in this weird analogy, that's what I'm saying. The spider, the web crawler, is built to go and find every piece of information that it can find. So, under normal circumstances, something like someone's phone number or PayPal email would not be what's called indexable. Okay? So, under normal circumstances, where an error has not happened, under normal circumstances, that information is not indexable. Okay?
Yeah.
So before we installed this plugin, if it was installed on, I don't remember exactly when it was installed, but let's just say hypothetically, it was installed on January 1st of 2017, okay?
Uh-huh.
Before January 1st of 2017, the information was not indexable because, of course, the default version of WordPress doesn't publish that information from the database to the web. Okay? Are you following me?
Yes.
Okay. So we installed a plugin that is built to help with what's called SEO, or search engine optimization. Now, search engine, Google, Bing, whatever, optimization, making it so that the search engine has more information. Okay? So, let's again, we'll back up for just a moment, and we'll imagine that instead of Artworktee being a database of artists, or a database of artist profiles, is what I meant to say, it was a database of corporate offices. The search engine optimization extension would be doing the correct thing by finding all of the phone numbers in the database and publishing them to Google. Because even if that information is not public on the customer-facing version of the website, it is helpful to Google's search to have that information. So, again, let's say hypothetically, let's say that, again, the website is a directory of offices. Maybe the email of certain person is not publicly available, but it's buried in the code somewhere. If the search engine optimization robot can show that to Google and add it to Google's database, then if someone searches for that email address, then Google can show the correct result to the person. So, again, think of it as maybe this is like an email of an executive or something. So normally you would not be able to find this email on the customer-facing version of a website. But if someone goes into the Google search bar and types in that executive's email, it would be very convenient, and so Google does this on a massive scale, it would be very convenient for Google to use not only the customer-facing information, but also the business-facing information to be able to show the correct search result to the person. So, here's what happened. Okay? Now, that's a lot of context to what happened, which was a mistake. Okay? A mistake that I could not possibly have predicted in advance. And let me tell you why. Okay? Here's what happened. People put in their information on Artworktee while they were making an account. That's completely normal for making an account on a website. Because WordPress was never built to run accounts natively, a separate extension has to run on top of WordPress to be able to make accounts on WordPress for artists or for people of any sort, whatever type of account that people are trying to make. It has to. You basically have to jerry-rig a system within WordPress to make it work. Okay, so you already have a Jenga tower, and you've pulled out a couple of pieces or added a couple of pieces to make. We'll say added a couple of pieces. So you've got your Jenga tower. It's kind of already built from spaghetti anyway because of how WordPress is, was originally designed just for blogs. So you have your Jenga tower, and now you've added on top of that Jenga tower, you've added user accounts. Okay? Now, on top of that, you add a robot that its only purpose in life is to find information that is not on Google and give it to Google. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you've added on top of your Jenga tower, you've added something else. You've added, another 10 Jenga blocks on top of your tower. Okay? Now, unfortunately, and again, there was no way for me, a person who is not, I'm sure you will not be surprised that it took a very long time to explain what happened to me, because I am not a technical person. This is not what I'm good at. I am good at selling stuff to people. That is my area of expertise. I am a salesman. I am not a programmer. So anyway, so what happened was, one robot that was not built to do the thing went and talked to another robot that was not built to do the thing, and then gave Google information that Google was not supposed to have. Okay? Are you following me?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Because it's, again, the actual details of what happened are not complicated, but you have to have all that context to understand what happened. Okay? So, one WordPress extension talked to another WordPress extension by mistake and gave Google information that Google was not supposed to have. Now, why was the information on Google's servers after we specifically went to Google and asked them to remove it? Okay? Immediately, we went through the process. This was 7 years ago, or six, whatever, however many years ago that it was.
Yeah.
So I've slept since then, so I may not have the exact timeline memorized, but we immediately went through the process that, of course, Google has to have, where if Google is given information by accident, that someone can go to Google and say, look, we accidentally uploaded a bunch of sensitive information to our website, and your search engine spider, quote unquote, indexed that information by mistake. We did not intend for that to be public information, so we need you to remove it from Google. Okay? Obviously, Artworktee is not the only company to have made this kind of software mistake, because, again, computers are very stupid. If you give one robot a bunch of information, and then another robot is only built to find and index information, errors are going to occur. Artworktee is not unique in something like this happening. This happens to small businesses all the time, because small businesses do not have the resources to employ the extremely expensive programmers who are experts at this specific thing of data security. Unsurprisingly, the people who are experts at data security work at places like the FBI or the NSA or Google, and don't work for frickin' Artworktee. Because I don't have $400,000 a year to pay someone to do it. So anyway, you can tell that I have been waiting to have this conversation with someone who would actually listen for a long time. Anyway, so one robot talked to another robot and gave Google information that Google was not supposed to have. Now, unsurprisingly, and I'm sure this will not shock you, Google does not want it to be easy to remove information from their servers.
No, of course not.
Why would they make that easy? Because if it was easy, then everyone who has something to hide, like, let's say, a criminal conviction, Everyone who has something to hide would go to Google and they would get it removed from Google. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this process, by design, is difficult and takes a very long time. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They could make it fast and easy. They could make it as easy as, here's the information, delete, we've removed it from our server. They could make it that easy. But if they did, Google would be a worse product for everyone.
Yeah.
Google would make millions of dollars less every day if that was how it worked. So that's why they don't do it that way. Once information goes into Google servers, it is extremely time-consuming and difficult and requires a ton of different documentation to prove that that information should be removed from Google. At minimum, and this is if everything works perfectly, at minimum, it takes 2 weeks to remove something from Google servers, okay? And that's like, somebody accidentally uploads a picture of their birth certificate, and it's like, or not a birth certificate, that would be public information, but a picture of their driver's license, okay? So like,
yeah,
somebody accidentally uploads a picture of their driver's license and Google indexes it,
or their social security card or something.
A perfect example, yes. Somebody uploads a picture of their social security card by mistake, and then they go to Google and they say, look, this was an error. I did not mean for that to be public information. I need you to remove it so that it doesn't show up in search results. At minimum, if it is an emergency situation, an emergency, like, the entire database of a company being leaked, for example, of a major company, not a company like Artworktee, a Fortune 500 company.
Like Ford or something.
Or the Sony hack, for example. Like, think about that. Like, the Sony, let's back up to whatever year that was, and let's just imagine the Sony hack happens, somebody dumps all the information onto Google servers, okay? Sony can, because Sony has the power and the time and the lawyers to do it, they can go to Google and they can immediately file the legal paperwork to remove stuff from Google's servers. At minimum, in an emergency situation, it takes 2 weeks to do that. And again, it is a legal process. And if anyone like yourself, I don't know if you've been through a legal process.
But, I have not.
Well, thank goodness for you. I have been through several, unfortunately. And so anything that goes through the legal system takes years, Torben. Years. Okay? So, I'm sorry that we accidentally published that information. Okay? I have apologized for it many times because it was a mistake. If I had $400,000 a year to employ a data analyst and a data security analyst, it would not have happened. But I don't have that kind of resource. I have a WordPress website that is built like a Jenga tower with way too many blocks on it. That is how you build a web store on WordPress. It is held together with tape and toothpicks.
Yep.
That is, you can ask any person who owns a WordPress website, and they will tell you the same thing.
I asked Faison. Yes, I know.
Right. And so, yes, it was a mistake. But Google has a very, very powerful legal team. And I do not. So it took a long time for them to agree to remove the information. Now, can everyone please stop asking me about it? Jesus Christ.
I've never heard that story.
I don't even know how many times I've had to explain it. And again, most people don't have half an hour to sit down and understand the technical, details behind computer security. The only reason why I know this is because I sat down with Faizan and went through it in excruciating detail for hours and hours and hours and hours. Because I did not understand any of this. I did not understand a word of what I just told you when I created Artworktee. Okay? I had never owned a WordPress website before, to my remembrance. Or if I did, it was a very basic website. I don't remember. But the point is, I was learning as I went, and part of learning as you go is making mistakes. Unfortunately for me, this was a mistake that impacted important people. But I would hope that anyone who actually understands the details of the situation can take a look at it and say, oh, well, the mistake was as simple as installing the wrong plugin. And the only way to fix it was to go through a bunch of frickin' lawyers. That's a very simple mistake to make and very difficult to fix.
So, point Google will just update it. That was my way of thinking at the time.
Yeah, and
Because
that's it.
I didn't know any lawyers. I didn't know anyone, and Faizan wasn't a help in any way, shape, or form on that issue. So I was like, yeah, that's my only option.
Right. Well, and Faizan is from India, right? So like.
No, Pakistan.
Oh, Pakistan. That's right. Sorry. So Faizan is not an expert in U.S. legal matters in any stretch, just the way that I am not an expert in Pakistani legal matters. So I, unfortunately, had to go through the process myself of figuring out how we could do it. Now, unfortunately for me, I did not have the resources of a Sony Pictures or a Warner Brothers or whatever to go through and get the process expedited in 2 weeks. I did not have that capability. You have to. It is such a horrible system for someone who makes a mistake. If you haven't made a mistake, it works just fine because Google takes your information from your website, it puts it into its database, and it serves search results in, 1/10 of a second or whatever it does. Google could not possibly look through every piece of data on the web in 1/10 of a second. But what it can do is it can do what's called a database search, and it can simplify the information in its database down to the most important components of the information. So again, to go to our example of a Word document and a file name, when you do a search, Google searches through the equivalent of a bunch of file names and not through the entire document itself.
Still there?
I'm here.
Okay, good. You suddenly just stopped talking, was quiet.
Oh, internet must have cut out, sorry.
But yeah, I understand this now. This is the first time you've explained it to me.
Well, I've been dealing with death threats, I've been dealing with severe mental illness, and I've been dealing with a near-fatal car accident. So I'm sorry I did not have the ability whether mentally or physically, to sit down and explain computer science all day. Like, I did not have the ability to do that. I'm sorry.
I mean, I understand. It was tough in the beginning. It was very, very tough. Remember, after a few weeks, I went to you and I was like, I cannot do it.
I apologize, Torben. I don't remember that. I was on a lot of medication at the time.
I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks in. I told you, like, I could not run this company. I cannot do this. This is way over my head. I need more information. Because the way that how you gave me the company was basically you hyped it up. We had a long conversation one night. You hyped it up to a point of being like, you can make so much money with this and so many cons and stuff like that. And so I agreed to it. And basically, what I received from you was the one-sheet document of the passwords and stuff. But I didn't even know when I took it over who is employed in my company, how many employees I have. I still have no idea who our manufacturers were. And they were projects that I learned about their existence almost a year into running Artworktee.
Really? I had no idea.
So, for example, the plushie Kickstarter. I learned about the existence of the plushie Kickstarter almost a year into owning the company.
Yep.
I had never even heard of it before.
Okay.
So, the beginning was pretty tough. But I survived somehow.
Well, again, unfortunately, the truth is not as simple as let me start that sentence over. I'm sorry. What I was trying to say was, it is much easier to create a problem than it is to solve it. And I apologize that, unfortunately, the way that I ran things, which was very disorganized. I mean, that's, anybody you ask can tell you. I'm not the type of person who typically will sit down and, make a 17-point business plan and yes, so we're going to do this exactly this way, and we're going to do this exactly this way.
I don't either. I mean, if I were to die tomorrow, no one could pick up art and prints.
Right.
It's simply not possible.
Right. So, and any small business owner, or not any, because there are some people who are very meticulous, but most small business owners would tell you the same thing of like, well, yeah, if I died tomorrow, and my company, let's say they run a plumbing company, my plumbing company would just stop existing because I know where everything is. I know where every, piece of information is. But if you asked me to explain it to someone, they would have to live in my body for the past 10 years to know all the information.
Yeah.
That's how small businesses do things. Unfortunately, I wish that it was easier, because it would be a lot easier for everyone if it was simple and, straightforward and, and this is where this login is, and this is where this distributor's information is, and, I've talked to this person over the phone, and I talked to this person on email, and I talked to this person on Discord, and I talked to this person on Skype. Like, you and I, as business owners, know all of that information. But explaining that to someone, especially in a reasonable amount of time, if you sat, hypothetically, Torben, if you were going to explain to me, a person who has run a business that does conventions, so it's not like it's a new concept for me to run a business that does conventions. So I am already an expert. So you are trying to explain to me, who already has expert level knowledge, exactly how to run art and prints the same way that you do. So that, like, I would make every decision the same way that you would make it. I would speak to every customer. I would speak to every distributor, whatever, exactly the same way you do it. If you were going to just estimate off the cuff how long that would take you to teach me how to do it in the exact same way that you do it, how long do you think that would take?
I would say probably like 2 to 6 months.
Right. Yeah, no, that is correct. Like, that is how long it typically takes when, usually even longer, usually at least a year, of if somebody sells a small business to someone else, then the new owner has to sit down with them and just learn everything from scratch. So if it would take me 6 months to learn how to do art and prints, imagine how long it would take to explain it to the random convention goer off the street who has never run a business before. Not even a convention business, has never run a business in their life. Imagine how long it would take to explain to them all of the details of all of these things.
I see your point, but then again, someone has to be of a specific type of person to even be capable of running a business.
I agree. And so that's what I'm saying, that when someone comes to me, as many people have done, both in person at conventions and, online and on Telegram and Twitter and whatever, when someone comes to me, as people do on a, probably weekly basis at this point, when someone comes to me and says, well, I don't like that decision you made 7 years ago. Now, it would take me, based on what you just told me, it would take me 6 months to train that person in the knowledge that they would need to know of why I made that decision. It would take me 6 months to explain it. Now, that doesn't mean that the decision was right. That doesn't mean that, if you or the person, telling me that I was wrong, whatever, that doesn't mean that that person wouldn't have done it differently. But that person does not have the 12 years of experience that I have running small businesses. My knowledge of how to do things is always going to be unique to me. Even if I sat down with you and I explained every single detail of every single spreadsheet and every login and now that my mental health is better, I can sit down and do a lot of these things with you. But even if I were to do that, in every single bit of detail that I could possibly do, even if I were to do that, for 6 months, you would still make decisions that would be different from the decisions that I would make.
Of course, because we're different people and have a different background and different logic system.
Exactly. But here's the thing, Torben. Going to someone like Majira Strawberry, who is a YouTuber and not someone who sells t-shirts for a living, going to Majira Strawberry and explaining to him, well, this is why I made the decision to install this plugin on the website. I think, I don't remember if it was me or Faizan or what, but anyway, the point is like, if I went to Majira Strawberry and I said, well, here's the reason why I decided to install this plugin. The reason why is because I thought that it would help the artists because there was an issue where, because of WordPress's horrible design, artists were not showing up in Google search results. And so we said, how can we fix it? Well, maybe if we install this plugin to help with search engine optimization, then Google will have the information that they need to be able to index the artists better so that they will show up in search results. So for anyone in the future who asks you about this question, if you want to, you can give them all this information. I doubt they would listen to you, but you could, in principle, give them all this information and finish your argument, quote unquote, not like a fight argument, but you could finish your statement by saying, I was trying to make Artworktee better.
The path to hell is paved with good intentions.
I agree. But no one cares. No one cares that was my intention.
About your intentions. Everyone cares about what the result was.
Correct. And rightly so. It would not be logical for someone to sit down and say, oh, well, this person, beats their wife. Now, why would they beat their wife? They had a reason why they beat their wife. Well, yes, the only thing that matters is the result. But this is not the same as something like that, of, somebody committing a crime of, passion or whatever. This is an honest mistake that I made. And I freely admit that it was a mistake. I have never, not once, have I said, well, I made the right call in installing that plugin. No. I made a dumb mistake because I am not a computer security expert, nor do I have the money to afford one.
So, one thing that I still have a problem with,
Sure.
to this day, is suppliers.
Okay. Which suppliers do you need?
I was never able to figure out the suppliers that were used before, and I've tried a bunch of suppliers, and almost all of them failed me.